This is the story of a trip that almost didn't happen. From a car that wouldn't start,
making a clicking sound. I'm trying to get a jump off of Jeff's car.
to not one, not two, but 3 tornadoes. To every single event we planned to do being shut down due to weather.
But that's okay, because this is also the story of how things can come together just when they seem to fall apart. It's about manifesting the good you want to see and being open to surprises, because this trip took place in Branson. And as it turns out, there's almost always something to do in Branson, no matter the weather. So instead of the trip we wanted to take, where we explore the natural beauty of the Ozarks,
These conditions are really testing my resolve.
here's a trip planned by the universe instead, with all the ups and downs that come with doing the completely unexpected every single day. Well, how do you think it turned out? Because we ended up having a great time.
Let's start with the car, which we ended up getting to work.
We got it! I think I left the door open when I was loading the car last night, and now it's like super raining, so see you in Arkansas!
We did spend the first portion of our trip in Hot Springs, and you can watch those videos right here. We took scenic Byway 7 up through the Ouachita Mountains into the Ozarks to Branson. Now if you follow the map, it's going to try to force you into I-40 through Little Rock, then take you up Highway 65. I promise, 7 is the prettier drive. There are hollows and waterfalls scattered throughout the Ozarks, as well as scenic stops like this one. Now you can't tell me that's not worth stopping for.
The weather was drizzly at first, but manageable, which gave me hope the hikes we had planned still work out. I'm gonna level with you and confess I spent the first morning panicking. When you make travel content, you plan ahead, and finding myself with all of those plans washed away was challenging. We took a moment to feel extremely sorry for ourselves, then hopped on the internet and discovered not even 10 minutes up the road from our cabin was a pretty large aquarium.
And the Smiths are suckers for a good aquarium. The entrance is beside the mirrored octopus, and I gotta say, coolest entrance ever. The aquarium recommends purchasing your tickets online ahead of time from their website. We bought ours at the counter. We pretty much had the place to ourselves, and I'm sure weather was a factor in that. This aquarium has only been open since 2020, and everything looks beautiful and new.
This is one of the first creatures you'll encounter, and we're gonna hang out here a moment. I loved this octopus. We learned from our science center in Birmingham, Alabama when we lived there that octopus are very hard to come by, and they require very specialized care. Seeing one this large and this active is rare. Obviously, we made a soul connection, and I wanted to bring him home with me. You can see his funnel expelling water and his mantle vibrating. He really loved the camera, and as you can see, even when I moved, he repositioned himself to be the center of attention.
You begin your journey through the aquarium aboard a 3D submarine theater adventure. This leads directly to the coral reef, a massive ecosystem that supports hundreds of species in their natural biodiverse environment. Throughout the aquarium are hidden different aquatic sculptures just for the kids. Pick up a playing card at the ticket desk. If you find every sculpture, a small prize awaits you in the gift shop at the end. Jeffrey really enjoyed this whole experience. Around every corner is a new view of the reef, as well as individual tanks with different species. All leading up to the water tunnel that takes you through the coral reef.
This sweet little three-legged turtle was all over the place and very sweet to watch. You can see he also has a massive barnacle on his shell, which the aquarium appears to be treating. Do not leave this aquarium without spending some quality time in the Jellyfish Infinity Room. If this were practical home building accessories, I'd have one of these columns. Just around the corner, grab a photo down this hallway. Izzy called this the vacation photo spot.
There are so many opportunities here for photos with your kids. We recommend you take every single one. The aquarium also includes a lot of interactive experiences for the kids. This one was Jacob and Jeffrey's favorite. This is a massive C-cup display that color shifts. It's beside the touch tank, and trust me, you can spend a lot of time in this space. You can interact with sharks, and stingrays. Be careful, there is a fish in this tank who likes to bite, and the staff will make sure you know where he is at all times. The water movement in these tanks simulates the incoming tide, like these anemones would have in California, which is where they're from. Honestly, we could spend the whole video here, so we made one. Check out our ambient aquarium video for even more close-ups of all the fish you've seen here, and more. But for now, it's time to move on. Let's check in with Jacob to see his assessment of the day so far.
Say it one more time.
I'm having a lot of fun right now.
What's fun?
I got to climb on a bunch of kelp in the aquarium, which is really high. I got to go on like a scavenger hunt with Jeffrey, and we get to go to a 50s diner.
Not bad for making it up as we go. Now let's go check out that diner. This is Cake and Cream, and it is located directly across the street from the aquarium. This place has all the old school diner vibes you're looking for, from an honest-to-goodness jukebox to table-side boxes. We each picked out a song, and these do indeed work, so bring your quarters with you. But the best thing about this place is the food. All of the ice cream desserts here are made with Bluebell ice cream. If you don't know, that's what God eats when he's craving ice cream. Made in Texas and only sold across the South, it was heaven to find it here.
For dinner, we decided to combine entertainment and food together and attend a dinner theater magic show. Welcome to the Cabaret, where a bona fide Las Vegas magician, together with his wife, will entertain and mystify you. Grab your tickets ahead of time online from their website. Dinner is served buffet style before the show begins, and help yourself to as much as you want. There's plenty here to satisfy most dietary needs, and the food was delicious. Even our picky eaters found something to love here. Once the show started, we couldn't video anything, but we got lots of pictures. One thing that appealed to us about Gary and Janine's show is that it was family appropriate. If you travel with kids, you know it can be hard to find age-appropriate comedy. Gary does a great job and even used the kids in his act. He makes a chair float, and levitates a handkerchief from inside a jar, and all in a space thoughtfully and tastefully decorated. This is the magic show you didn't know your life was missing.
Day 2 is where my resolve started to fall apart. The storms worsened. There was lightning. Temperatures dropped. We had hail. I was naively hopeful the events we planned could still happen if the storms moved on, so I spent the morning checking websites. From driving a golf cart through a cave, to riding an alpine coaster, to dining on a patio overlooking the Devil's Pool waterfall. Every single one was closed due to unsafe conditions. I didn't even wake everyone up right away because I wasn't sure it would be safe to leave the cabin yet. I made a big breakfast and reminded myself that God supports me. One key to manifesting is knowing things will turn out the way that's best, even when it conflicts with what we think we want. The trip that happens is the one that was meant to happen. The content we create is what we were meant to have, even when it doesn't match our expectations. I pored over maps online to try and stitch together a good day for our family. I ended up settling on Talking Rock's Cavern, primarily because it was close to Branson's main strip, and thought we could go there afterward. Even then, it was tough getting my crew up and out the door in the face of the constant downpour and heavy fog. We didn't end up leaving the cabin until well after lunchtime, and I was white-knuckling the steering wheel on the drive around Table Rock Lake. I reminded myself then to be grateful. That's another key of manifesting. I thanked God for the rain, even though it was driving me crazy. I thanked God for leaving late, even though I was certain it was ruining our day. I didn't feel it, but I thanked Him anyway and thought, what good could possibly come of leaving late? When we arrived, the staff apologized and told us the caves were flooded. Because of course they were, but that we could still look inside a little if we wanted. I was not about to get back in that car, so I said yes please. They loaded us into ponchos and we headed down. And I'm sure you've already guessed that here is where our day turned around. The caves weren't just flooded. The heavy rainfall of the last few days created mini waterfalls between the limestone formations. It was stunning. And the benefit of leaving late? As we slid our way down the first staircase, the tour guide called up to tell us we were the first and only group of the day that was getting to go inside the formations because of how high the water levels had been. In fact, the water had only receded not even a full 15 minutes before our arrival. Talk about manifesting abundance. Had we been even 15 minutes earlier, we would have missed this entirely. Without a doubt, this is the coolest cave tour I have ever been on, and none of it would have happened if there wasn't so much rain and if we hadn't left late. I don't know how other cave tours are ever going to compete with this. This, cats and kittens, is how the caves are formed in the first place. Water lines on the ceiling show that the caverns were entirely flooded for many years. They've started excavating in the back of the cavern and discovered it continues on to a massive and still unexplored system. If you visit, keep an eye out for broken formations. This cave was originally discovered by a pair of boys chasing a rabbit. It disappeared into a crack in the ground, and when they went to follow it, they told their parents they saw an angel inside. This is the angel formation the boys saw. Their parents opened this cavern for public tours in 1921. It was during those tours that, as the children became adults, they became fond of snapping off some of the formations to hand out to friends. It wasn't until their father noticed they weren't regrowing that he put a stop to it. Now, of course, we know it takes millennia to create these caves. Our guide told us the poncho tour is his favorite to give, and he rarely has the opportunity for it. We spent some time in the gift shop before leaving, where they have high-quality rocks for excellent prices. We came home with a few souvenirs.
Soaking wet and freezing, our next stop was Heroes, Tastes, and Taps. This is located on Branson's main entertainment strip and is dedicated to our everyday heroes, such as first responders, nurses, teachers, and farmers. The food here was amazing. They have a massive beer list on tap, hence the name, and you can order a flight of beers from their menu. From the food to the decor, everything was impeccable, and we highly recommend including this in your visit to Branson. It's time now for one of the strangest things we did in Branson. That's right, we stopped in at Ripley's Believe It or Not. There are 33 of these dotted across the country, and you are always sure to find the most unique exterior possible at each and every one. This one begins with a history of the man himself, and Ripley really did travel the world collecting curious things. He opened his very first showcase at the 1933 World's Fair in Chicago, our hometown.
Every single museum has its own curiosities, which makes it a unique experience to stop at each one. The only thing I have made from popsicle sticks is a picture frame, so this makes me feel like my kids aren't trying very hard. This stuff makes me feel the museum has to be haunted.
There is an astonishing amount of stuff here, made from other stuff. Are you about to throw away your tinfoil? Don't. Have you thought about making a dinosaur with it? And this is a coffin. This is what it looks like when you're crushing it at bridal shower party games.
Ripley didn't just collect things, he collected people too. Like this man from China with a bone naturally protruding from his skull. The lizard man. And this vampire. Ripley's also gives space for items of cultural significance, like this intricately hand-carved camel bone. The detail is surreal. On your way out, leave through the infinite tunnel and try not to slip. Be sure to sign the duct tape ball in the lobby and help Ripley's earn a Guinness World Record.
On our way back to Chicago, we spotted a sign we recognized from our time living in Texas. If you're not a gas station connoisseur or haven't spent any time in Texas, you may not know there is nothing in America quite like a Buc-ee's. You may be able to tell in these videos that it's snowing. On this trip, we actually had all of the weather. Buc-ee's is massive. Everything you could think to want, they have. My favorite thing has to be the number of gas pumps available. My wife loves how clean the bathrooms are. They make all of their food in-house and have their own brand of just about every food item, including snacks for the road. Their coffee station, massive, and they do include almond and oat milk over here. No extra charge. They even make their own barbecue and brisket, fresh every single day. Don't like brisket? That's okay. They've got something for you too. There's Buc-ee plushies and merch. So stop at Buc-ee's next time you're outside St. Louis and plan to give yourself some time to shop. Thanks so much for joining us on this unexpected adventure in Branson. Turns out, this is a great place to show up and have your plans ruined. We still had a wonderful time, which says a lot about Branson, in our opinion. Next time you're in the Midwest, check out this big little city and don't be afraid to try something new, and trust that things always have a way of working themselves out.